If learning new techniques and how to make your two-dimensional art quilts really shine into three dimensionals, this video has been meant for you. So join me. It starts with an idea. And then the idea gives you the inspiration to create. And to create, you begin to design. And then you start to eliminate so that you can make it your design. And you can come up with beautiful three-dimensional art quilts. This is up on my design wall. I found this design on the internet. I really, really like this layout. So what I've done is I've taken tissue paper or tracing paper. I've scotch taped it up, and I'm going to trace this with a marker. And actually, except for some modifications to make it original and mine, I like this layout a lot. And then I'm going to figure out how to put the daisies in, and we'll be ready to start working on our pattern. The one on the bottom is the one I started with. I'm laying out the pattern for the sweet peas and the daisies. But since the sweet peas are the ones that are kind of dominant here, you can see where I put them. And then I went to the one above to see what colors would work. And I'm pretty happy with what I've got here. I think we have a good flow. And the circle ones are where the white daisies are going to be. I'm going to use cording for the vines. Since it's all kind of curly-cuey, what we're trying to picture here is those are the dominant colors. They're going to be a lot all over the place. I haven't decided on the background. Probably be a pretty muted color. There's going to be green in there for the leaves and white for the daisies. So once we've got this color figured out, this is going to be the dominant color that's going to be in the art quilt. Now I have to decide what I'm going to use for the background. So here's our color wheel, and this color, all these colors are in the red family, and the complement of red is green, which is over here. And then the complement to all of those two is right here. So somewhere in the yellow work or light green is what I'm going to be looking for the background. So I pulled out of my stash yellow and green, which is really not going to work. Look at how it fights with that. And the same thing with this one. It's more yellow than green. I think the colors are still too strong. So I kind of looked at this one. I think that's a good complement. It's soft. It's got some activity to it. It's just got a little bit of everything, and even a little bit of this color as a complement. Found this one and thought, oh, this is going to be great. That I like. As little bits, tiny bits of it in the background, kind of like a snippets kind of a thing. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I've got these in the background. So we're going to start with figuring out what I'm going to do with the background. The pattern is approximately 20 by 9. So I'm going to cut each of these probably 22 by 11, fuse them with fusible in the back so that I've got more than what I need in order to play with it as I'm designing the backdrop. I have my light box on. This is my tracing paper pattern that I have, and I have my fabric ready. This is the background fabric. So I used painter's tape, and I'm taping it down to my light box. And then I used a Sharpie pen, and I redefined in a dark black pen all the places where I know I'm going to put the vines. Then to make sure that this doesn't move, I've got this one laid down, tacking it back down. Smooth it all out, tack it down so that it too doesn't move. And now what I'm going to do is now I can see all these lines, all these different places where I'm going to be going with the cording, with the brown cording. I'm going to do that because this is really the layout. This tells me where I'm going to be putting the sweet peas. And once I've got that balanced, then I'll be putting in the sunflower, or the daisies. So as you're looking at the cording that I have here, how would you attach it to the quilt top? There's a couple ways we can do this. When I'm demonstrating, what I more than likely will do is use glue, fabric glue in here, and lay it down that way. And because this is going to go up on the wall, I know that nothing's going to really fall apart. It's not going to be washed, and it can handle being glued, and the fabric glue is actually very good. You could hand stitch across this, like a couching, that would be fine too. You could use your machine and use a couching also. It will flatten this a little bit, which I don't think I want, so I'm going to probably go ahead and put the lines down first and play with the idea that I might just glue that down. I like the texture to come up to the front. There are several ways that you can draw out these fine lines. Remember, it's going to be covered by the cording itself. So I think what I'm going to do is use this air erasable pen. You could also use a tracing pen, a tracing pencil, pink or blue, probably the pink because there's going to be some pink in here and I'm not going to worry about that. You could use a micron pen if you wanted. I hesitate to use that because it is a dark black, and if I for some reason were to go away from that line, it would be exposed. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. Well, change in plans. Even though this is a brand new unopened package, when I opened it up, I'm getting nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the pink pencil. That'll work out just fine. As I'm drawing these lines, if you notice when I get to the end here, it's kind of curly. I have a different idea here than trying to twist the cord. I'll see how that goes. We'll see this a little bit later in the video. So for right now, it's really funny as you're working with these things, how different ideas come up, and that's exactly what you want. You want to keep your mind open to like, well, what if I did it this way, or what if I did it that way? This is going to go behind, I think. No, it's not going to. I'm going to leave it there, but I'm not going to have it squiggly like that. I'm going to stop it there, and when I get to that point in building things, I will come back and look at that. I don't like this straight line, just straight down. So what I'm going to do is come out here, run it over here by what is either going to be a leaf and a flower or just the leaf, I'll decide. And then come down here and do a little twist. One thing about the sweet peas, they kind of like to wrap around whatever is close to them. I can see where my lines are. If I need to make it a little darker, I can do that. But what I'm going to do is take it off of here, off of the light board, and now I'm going to start to work off of my mat board. This is just a piece of foam board that I got at the dollar store, and I covered it with flannel. And it works really great when you're trying to carry things around, like upstairs or downstairs, or, and in this case, from one side of the studio to the other. I'm going to start right here, and I am going to use glue, hot glue, just a teeny dab, and I'm going to drag that dab, clean it up, let it sit there for just a second while that anchors in, making sure that it doesn't show, which means that you take your time and you just do a little bit. I should probably see if I've even got a glue gun that has maybe a finer point. I'm pretty sure I do somewhere. And then very gently, I just lay this down into the heat of the glue. And that's going to work really well. You got to take your time with this though, because you don't want the glue to show. If for some reason the glue would show, just take a fabric marker and touch it up. So let's see what we've got here. Again, I'm using just a light touch to get the glue. I'm going to try and do a swirl. I don't know, we'll see. Oh, I think it worked. I don't want this curve to take our eye off the quilt. So I'm going to bring this back up here. I'm going to use my blue marker, and I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I'm just confident I'm going to be able to do this. So I'm going to start with first a curve and see what that brings us. And again, I'm using very little pressure on the glue gun. Let's see where this goes. So I can see the shiny part of the glue. and lay it down. I like that. Now, how do I cut this off? Okay, so I'm going to stop, and I'm going to use a sharp pair of scissors and cut that off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a curve right here. Again, very, very little glue, very little. And lay it down into the glue and pinch it. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Lay it down into the glue and pinch it. See how I'm pinching and pressing it down with my pin? And that should do it. That's how you can begin and end a curve on a piece of cord. I just temporarily placed these in this position to see, do I like this? There's going to be flowers in each of these places. There's going to be buds in places like this and over here and a little bit over in here. But the main goal here is place your flowers so that the eye stays on the quilt and never leaves. So if I remove this one, that still looks pretty good, but it's a cluster. It's 6 pieces. However, it could work because it's 3 and 3. And then we can use tiny buds to bring them in here and in here and in here so that it becomes like a secondary focus. So I have to make up my mind if I want to do it with 6. Do I want to do it? I usually like the odd numbers. That's the best way to do it. But the way this is played out, can you see where this is actually a unit of 3 and this is a unit of 3? And what will tie it together will be having the buds in here. Well, let me know what you think. Now the next step is going to be learning how to create these dimensional flowers. I don't believe in making 20 and 30-minute videos, so I'm turning this into 2 different videos. One will be right after this one, and it's going to be detailed information on how you can create not only this flower over here, but this flower also, although this one's very, very easy to do. Once you learn how to do this particular flower or the technique that I have, you are off and running. You can make any flower, and I mean that literally, any flower shape. And just look at what it does for your quilt. Having some dimensional pieces on your quilt changes it immensely. And the other thing that's important is I can teach you this all day long, but until you actually try it and get the feel, get the felt sense of what it's like to create this, it really won't matter that much to you. Once you make one, you will have changed the way that you look at art quilts. So we're going to go on to the second video where you're going to get this very, very detailed so you can finish this